The next topic is wall of alimentary canal. The wall of alimentary canal from esophagus to rectum possesses four layers, that is serosa, muscularis, submucosa and mucosa. Serosa is the outermost layer, then we have muscularis, submucosa and mucosa. Serosa is the outermost layer and is made up of thin mesothelium with some connective tissue. So mesothelium is epithelium of visceral organ. Visceral organs are internal organs which are present in chest or abdominal region. Muscularis, then the next layer is muscularis, which is formed by smooth muscles which are arranged in two layers. The outer layer is longitudinal and the inner layer is circular. So we can see the outer layer of muscularis is longitudinal and inner layer is circular. The arrangement in the inner layer is circular and in the outer layer it is longitudinal. Muscularis is formed by smooth muscles usually arranged into an inner circular and an outer longitudinal layer. In some cases or in some regions, the muscularis layer may have oblique muscle layer. Then we come to the next layer, that is the submucosal layer. Submucosal layer is formed of loose connective tissues and this layer contains nerves, blood and lymph vessel. So the nerves, blood and lymph vessels are supplied to this layer. In this diagram also we can see that this layer is here, it is labeled as submucosa and we can see that it is supplied with nerve. See, this red one is the artery and the blue one is the vein, and we can see here nerves are being supplied to this layer, and this layer is the submucosa. In the case of duodenum, which is a part of small intestine, glands are also present in submucosa. The innermost layer that lines the lumen or the cavity of the body of the alimentary canal is the mucosa. The layer forms irregular folds which is known as rugae in stomach, and they form small finger-like folding called villi in the small intestine. So, in the case of stomach, the mucosa layer forms folds which is known as rugae, and in the case of small intestine, these folds are known as villi. Here we can see that this layer is mucosa and it is in the form of folds, and these folds are known as rugae or villi depending where they are found. The cells lining the villi produce numerous microscopic projections called microvilli, giving a brush border appearance. This is villi, and the cells that line this villi have microscopic projections on them. The cells that are present on the surface of villi have microscopic projection on them, and this is known as microvilli. These projections are known as microvilli and they give a brush border appearance. By projection I mean outgrowth. These thread-like outgrowths are known as microvilli. And this modification is important so that the surface area is increased, which helps in greater absorption of nutrients. Villi are supplied with a network of capillary and a large lymph vessel called the lacteal. Here we can see in this diagram that this green thing is the lacteal, which is a lymph vessel, and this is the capillary system which has been supplied to the villi. This is a goblet cell and this is the microvilli of brush border appearance. Mucosal epithelium has goblet cells which secrete mucus that helps in lubrication. The mucosal epithelium, the mucosal layer, has goblet cell. For example, this is the mucosal layer. So we might have a goblet cell somewhere here between the cells, and this goblet cell secretes mucus which helps in lubrication of the alimentary canal, which is important for the easy passage of the food, and it also prevents from any kind of corrosion because of the presence of digestive substances, digestive juices or the various juices that are secreted in the alimentary canal. Mucosa also forms gland in the stomach, which is known as gastric gland. So the mucosa which is present in the stomach, that part of the mucosa forms some glands, and these glands are known as gastric glands, and crypts in between the bases of villi in the intestine. So in the case of intestine, we know that in the case of intestine, if this is our mucosa, it is thrown into folds like this. This part is the villi, and this is known as crypt of Libercon. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but this is known as crypt of Libercon, and crypts in between the bases of villi. So basically this is mucosal layer, and it forms crypt of Libercon at the base. This is the base of villi. All the 4 layers show modification in different parts of the alimentary canal. So basically, depending on which part we are studying, the layers can show different modifications.